And it's a sentiment that India shares with several other countries as far as the demand for justice is concerned and for Pakistan to take action against terrorists operating on its very own soil. Last week, this issue reached the UK Parliament, the British Parliament, condemning the terror attack in Kashmir. Conservative Party MP Bob Blackman criticised the Pakistani military and government for condoning such acts. Well, in an exclusive interview with WION today, he said that religion-inspired violence cannot be tolerated and said that the world should stand in solidarity with India. Listen in to this GRAVITAS exclusive interview.
Absolutely dreadful. I mean, the reality is that this group of terrorists were well armed with modern sophisticated weapons. They were well organised, and indeed they were strongly supported in arriving at the site and deliberately targeting Hindu men, and in one case, I believe, a Christian man, but essentially anyone that was non-Muslim was being targeted, and they were only targeting men, and they deliberately shot them in the head. This sort of religious-inspired execution which took place cannot be tolerated, and it's deliberately aimed to cause trouble and tension between people of different religions. That must not be allowed to escalate. Well, what's happening at the moment is obviously governments all over the world are expressing sympathy and condolences to the government of India and to all the victims of this atrocity. However, India has to take action. India needs to both apprehend the terrorists and bring them to justice, but also bring the supporters, the backers of these terrorists to justice as well. And when that happens, it's pretty clear to me that given where the attitude that Pakistan has adopted so far, it's going to take military action to take that, to actually enforce that. There's going to be a problem for the rest of the world then. And I think that governments of all persuasions across the world, particularly in the West, should give full support to India in combating this terrorism and taking whatever measures it's requiring to do in order to stop the terrorism. Yes, I think the first thing is obviously the ideal position is that the terrorists are apprehended and then interrogated, because we all need to hear from those terrorists about who was backing them, who was supporting them, and what assistance was provided and by whom, so that then the individual backers and the supporters of the various different organisations can also be pursued. But what we can say, I think, is very clear, and that is India should have the backing of all right-thinking governments to make sure that the threat of terrorism is removed from their borders and that those terrorists are not allowed to prevail. And in that regard, obviously the Indian government has my full support in whatever action it needs to take.